After over 2 decades in public office, New Mexico Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales announced he will not run for governor in 2026, citing a desire to spend more time with his 2 teenage children. Over the weekend, demonstrators gathered at 2 different national monuments here in New Mexico to participate in protests as part of the nationwide Day of Action for Public Lands. An autopsy revealed the Kirtland airman was shot 16 times during a February confrontation near the base by his fellow airmen. A federal immigration raid left a Lovington dairy farm devastated and has sparked a political debate. A pause on Job Corps threatens stability for hundreds of New Mexicans. And a once iconic office complex in uptown Albuquerque is getting new life with the grand opening of Park Square Market. From the Albuquerque Journal, this is the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Monday, June 9th, and I'll have more on those stories, plus a look at the weather forecast on the other side of this break.
This episode is brought to you by the Kirtland Partnership Committee. For 30 years, we've been dedicated to supporting, growing, and preserving the Kirtland National Security Complex. We work tirelessly to enhance military readiness, foster community partnerships, improve quality of life, and promote economic development right here in New Mexico. Join us in our mission to ensure that Kirtland remains a cornerstone of national security and a key provider of quality jobs and investment for all of Greater Albuquerque. Together, we can make a powerful impact. Kirtland Partnership Committee, proudly shaping the future of our national security for 30 years.
After over 2 decades in public office, New Mexico Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales announced he will not run for governor in 2026, citing a desire to spend more time with his 2 teenage children. Morales said he's at peace with the decision and plans to serve out the remaining 18 months of his term. His decision leaves 3 prominent Democrats in the race: former U.S. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, Bernalillo County District Attorney Sam Bregman, and former Las Cruces Mayor Ken Miyagi-Shima. Haaland and Bregman have already reported raising millions in campaign donations, a trend Morales finds concerning due to the growing role of money in politics. Morales, a Silver City native and former educator, hinted at interest in the presidency of Western New Mexico University after the former president's resignation amid an ethics scandal. Though stepping away from a statewide campaign, Morales says he's not retiring from politics and may seek office again in the future. Meanwhile, the Republican field remains largely unsettled, with only Rio Rancho Mayor Greg Hall officially in the race so far. On Saturday, demonstrators gathered at the Tortugas Mountain near Las Cruces as part of the nationwide Day of Action for Public Lands, aiming to defend national monuments and protected areas from possible federal rollbacks. The mountain, which is a sacred site for local indigenous tribes and a popular recreation area, became the backdrop for about 100 protesters chanting slogans like "No se vende," which translates to "Not for sale." The protest was organized in response to reports that the U.S. Department of the Interior may reduce or strip protections from 6 national monuments, including the nearby Organ Mountains Desert Peaks National Monument, or OMDP. The OMDP covers nearly 500,000 acres and was designated in 2014. It has since become a cornerstone of the region's outdoor economy and its cultural identity. Further north, 200 people rallied at the Rio Grande del Norte National Monument near Taos, joined by Senator Martin Heinrich. Both events emphasized bipartisan and community-wide support for public lands, echoing concerns from a similar 2017 review during President Trump's first term, which ultimately left the monument boundaries intact. Speakers, including educators, indigenous leaders, and state lawmakers, highlighted the importance of preserving these lands for future generations, not only for economic value, but for their spiritual, cultural, and recreational significance. A 2023 study found that the OMDP generated $234 million in economic impact since its designation, including a major rise in tourism. As temperatures rose, the rallies ended after an hour with participants energized by both community turnout and passing drivers' supportive honks. Organizers and officials expressed hope that this show of unity could help stave off another rollback, enforcing a message these lands are deeply valued and not for sale. Byron Teal Scott, a 28-year-old airman with the 377th Security Forces Squadron at Kirtland Air Force Base, was fatally shot 16 times, including 3 times in the back, by members of his own unit during a February confrontation near the base. The shooting occurred on Teal Scott's birthday just outside the Truman Gate in southeast Albuquerque. He died as a result of his wounds in the street between a Taco Bell and an apartment complex. An autopsy released by the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator showed that gunfire shattered multiple bones and pierced vital organs. Toxicology results indicated recent cannabis use, but Kirtland Air Force Base has withheld key details, including how many airmen fired and what weapons were used. Teal Scott was reportedly attempting to enter the base when a fellow airman searched his vehicle, found found drugs and pursued him on foot when he fled. The military has not confirmed whether Teal Scott fired a weapon or what justified the fatal use of force. All involved airmen have since been reassigned to administrative duties. Teal Scott, who had faced past disciplinary issues and requested discharge under, quote, other than honorable conditions, was scheduled to return home to New Jersey 2 days later. His father, Sean Scott, a military veteran, expressed outrage at what he called a, quote, overkill of his son, alleging a lack of transparency and accusing the Air Force of focusing more on Byron's past than on the circumstances of his death. The family's attorney, Joseph Marone, plans to file a wrongful death lawsuit citing potential endangerment of the public and a suspected cover-up. Loved ones remember Teal Scott as a caring father, aspiring poet, and a peacemaker. Over 200 people attended his funeral, a testament his father says to his son's impact. A Lovington dairy farmer says his business was thrown into chaos last week after a surprise federal immigration raid resulted in the arrest of 11 workers and forced the termination of 24 more. Isaac Bosk, the farm owner, said Homeland Security Investigations, or HSI, agents arrived unannounced and heavily armed, ignoring disease control signs, and executed a sweep following a previous audit of employee records. Although the farm itself wasn't accused of any crime, the raid targeted workers allegedly using fraudulent documents. HSI's El Paso office later confirmed arrests for immigration-related offenses, including visa fraud and unlawful re-entry. One individual had previously been deported, and 9 others were barred from re-entry. The operation left Bosch short 35 of his 55 employees, effectively halting milk production. He now relies on non-farm staff, family, and local teens to care for his livestock, warning that his remaining workforce is under severe strain. The incident was raised during a town hall in Hobbs, where a resident questioned Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham and other leaders about an apparent rise in federal immigration enforcement in New Mexico. Local officials, including Lee County Sheriff Corey Helton, emphasized that local law enforcement does not participate in immigration enforcement and urged residents not to fear contacting police. Governor Lujan Grisham said she supports targeting criminal activity, but warned that aggressive federal actions are undermining trust in the justice system. She said district attorneys are reporting that fear of deportation is discouraging victims and witnesses from coming forward. River Brown and other young adults in New Mexico's Job Corps program were blindsided by a federal move to pause all operations at all 99 contractor-operated Job Corps centers nationwide, including those in Albuquerque and Roswell. The U.S. Department of Labor, or DOL, announced the change on May 29th as part of a larger Trump administration initiative to cut federal spending, targeting programs for the poor, diverse populations, and those deemed financially insufficient. The abrupt decision, which affects more than 25,000 students and staff nationwide, was temporarily blocked by a federal judge who issued a restraining order on June 5th. This halted all shutdown-related activity and will remain in effect at least until a June 17th court hearing. In New Mexico, the pause could displace 600 students and 170 staff. Students like Brown and others who found purpose and stability in Job Corps' vocational programs are now faced with renewed housing insecurity and uncertainty. The Department of Labor cited financial struggles and a $213 million projected deficit and low graduation rates under 40% as reasons for the decision. Additionally, infractions such as violence and drug use were noted in centers in a 2023 review. Local and federal leaders, though, are pushing back. New Mexico Senators Martin Heinrich and Ben Ray Lujan joined 37 others in condemning the move, and state agencies and nonprofits like Jobs for America's Graduates New Mexico have launched emergency support efforts, providing housing, education, and legal resources. The State Department of Workforce Solutions is also coordinating relief, hosting resource fairs, and planning a June 10th hiring event to support affected staff. And in business news, a once iconic office complex in uptown Albuquerque is getting new life with the grand opening of Park Square Market, which is part of a $10 million plus revitalization effort by Heritage Cost. Located between 1 and 2 Park Square towers, the market features 2 food halls, a lush courtyard, and 12 local artisan food vendors, including hot pizza and new names like Little Gems and Workhorse Tap Room. The transformation aims to turn the 1980s-era buildings into a vibrant lifestyle campus, drawing both workers and visitors. Local leaders and tenants praised the changes, saying it's helpful to fuel broader uptown redevelopment, giving people a reason to return to the office. With full occupancy, design inspired by indoor-outdoor living, and community-focused enhancements still to come, Park Square Market is poised to become a unique culinary and social hub in the heart of the city. The leading news is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing our discount code in our show notes. Every subscription supports local journalism and allows us to provide you with the stories that matter to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected mainly after 3 p.m., mostly sunny with a high near 89. As for this evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms will persist before 9 p.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 61. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.